Hi. So we're going to try more of this book, Making Bombs for Hitler for English today. And Josh is right there in the kitchen, so hopefully he doesn't try to talk to us while we read. It cut off last time, so I'm going to try it this way. And then I read almost the first chapter and asked you guys who the main character is. And the main character is Lida. It's spelled L-I-D-A, like Lida. And in the first pages that we read, she was in first she was separated from her little sister, and then she was put in a train car for days and days. And they stopped, and they were given some pails of food. So we're going to start there. There were no spoons or bowls, so we took turns crawling over to the pail and carefully scooping out a bit of the muck with cupped hands. In the handful that was mine, I could fill a chunk of turnip with my tongue, but otherwise it was mostly water. I chewed the turnip slowly and swallowed it down, the wet mush feeling like a balm on my dry throat. My eyes were getting used to the dimness of our car, so I watched as the others lined up and swallowed down their meager share of soup. Marika didn't get in line. She didn't even sit up. I crawled over to her and placed my hand on her forehead. It was cool. Too cool to touch. Food, Marika. You've got to eat. I gently shook her shoulder. Her eyes opened slightly, and I thought for a minute that she looked at me, but they quickly fluttered shut. I went back to the pail of watery turnip soup, nudging my way to the front of the line. Marika needs something to eat. The kids closest to the pail made room for me, and I scooped up as much of the solid bits as I could with my hands. It wasn't easy getting back with the rail car swaying, the darkness, and the other kids, but each time I nearly fell, one of the others would steady me. Luke and Zinnia propped Marika up between them. I knelt in front of her and held my cupped hands to her face. Her nose wrinkled. Perhaps her dreams were more pleasant than the smell of those vile bits of turnip. Her eyes opened and she looked down. Eat. She cupped her fingers over mine and drew my hands to her mouth. She swallowed a piece of soggy turnip and choked. Slowly. She held my hands close to her mouth as if she were afraid I wouldn't give her any more, but she carefully chewed down every bit of turnip and swallowed it. She licked my fingers, then pushed my hands away and slumped back into Zinnia, exhausted. There was barely any soup left for Luca, the last in line. We reversed the order for the water, so at least Luca got a few good swallows. With a little bit of food in my stomach and water to my wet lips, I felt stronger. I wonder what that woman meant. Be useful, or they will kill you, I asked Luca. We're too young to be of much use to the Nazis, Luca replied, and useless people are killed. The words were like a stone in my heart. If I was too young to be useful, what about my little sister? What could Larissa do to prove herself useful? How could I save her? First, I would have to figure out a way to save myself. What work could I possibly do? I asked. Figure out a skill, said Luca, and say you're older. How do you know about this? Luca sighed. This isn't the first time I've been caught by the Nazis. So that's the end of chapter 1. So the main character is Lida, and her little sister is Larissa, that got separated from her, and she met some kids on the train, so we learned some of their names, like Luca, and she just realized that she has to be valuable and do some work if she wants to survive. So I want you guys to predict what kind of work you think she'll be able to do. So she's like a teenage girl, separated from her family. What kind of work do you think she will do in this book so that she will be able to survive? So that's what I want you to answer for me. Text me or email me or type in what work you think she'll be able to do. There's no wrong answer. It's a prediction. So predict what work you think Lida will be able to do.